Welcome to the first episode of
Screening Out.
That was perfect. That was great.
and whoever has the lovely opportunity of recording the name can just insert that over me.
All right. I can introduce myself. I'm Jalen-Thomas Kroger. I'm a culture reporter and a videographer and photographer for the Daily Nebraskan. I'm on the film beat.
My name is Dixon Janney. I am also a culture reporter and videographer for the Daily Nebraskan. I'm also on the film beat as well as student arts.
I'm the outlier. I'm Ben Beecham. I'm the assistant sports editor and one of the football beat reporters here, and residential film expert, obviously, because I'm on the podcast, but I'm not on the film beat.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start with what we're going through. So for the next 5 weeks, we'll be going through all 10 Best Picture nominees. Today, we're starting with the Warner Brothers movies. We got One Battle After Another and Sinners. Do you guys want to start with Sinners, our discussion?
Yeah, let's start with Sinners.
Yeah.
Dixon, I know you probably liked it a lot more than Ben and I
Yeah.
did, so you can start us off.
I will say, leading up to my rewatch, I was very pro Sinners, especially after seeing both movies one time. After watching both again, it's a lot closer, but I do still like Sinners. I think that the characters were very... I think it was very story driven. Smoke and Stack's relationship were pretty good. I
kind of forgot which one's which. I need the color coding. They kind of acted the exact same.
Well, they look exactly the same.
Well, they look the same. Obviously, they look the same, but they don't really have any like signifying differences other than the colors.
Yeah, blue and red. Except one of them
One of them
was
looks
with Haley
green.
Steinfeld, and the other one's with I forgot her name.
Is it Wunmi Masako? Is that?
Probably should know.
Hey, that's why they put us on the film podcast.
Hey, you guys are on the film beat. I just like movies. I like the
You
movies.
said you were qualified to be here.
I said I'm a residential film expert, but that title is given to me by
Wunmi
me.
Mosaku, yes.
Yes. Okay,
Annie.
so I was right.
Okay.
Darn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what did you like so much about Sinners besides the relationships?
I thought a lot of the movie was shot very well.
Ooh.
I think I don't know. Just seeing the dolly. I'm gonna bring up the dolly shot. Seeing the dolly shot
There's a lot
in
of
the
them.
theaters. You know which one I'm
Yeah.
talking about. The one in the juke joint. I really liked watching it. I will say I felt without having all of the movie like, because they reference a lot of the backstory without actually. It's more like kind of like show don't tell. I guess
do
they're
like
telling
that.
you.
I do
but-
like when movies do that.
Yeah, they did a lot of that. I do think I'm not as big of a fan of Ryan Coogler going into interviews and being like, and so here's exactly what happened, as if it's like little snippets, like leading breadcrumbs, because he said he didn't want to make like sequels and stuff.
I like it better when the only thing we knew about them is that someone just says they worked for Capone.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. That was one of the stupidest lines I've ever heard. Just some off-screen character goes, "They worked for Capone."
Well, they did. They worked for Capone.
I
An
mean, I
Avenger
guess.
style thing.
It's literally just like, name what's one gangster that we can put in the movie that's notable, and they can only think about Capone. And I that's
I
fair.
guess he's like the most notable gangster.
Yeah.
But like, are we,
Besides like Tony Soprano, but he's not real.
Yeah, well, maybe not to you.
okay, I want to talk on the film work because you were talking about that, and Ben and I had this observation.
Very early.
Yeah, most of this movie is framed center.
And not even just like there's multiple things in the center of the frame. It's just like the sides of the frame are barren and the middle of the screen is the subject talking to a different person. It's a lot of shot reverse shot with that like cookie cutter copy and paste archetype, especially early on. When it gets to vampire stuff, it gets a little bit more dynamic, but it's very, and even some of the vampire stuff is just a little drab action.
I will say I did notice that on my rewatch. It kind of like bumped it down a little for me, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think part of me still just thinks about like even like watching it in the theaters. Like it was such like a spectacle, I guess.
Yeah.
Like my first watch through that. Like I think part of what's in it for me is sort of like remembering that first experience and kind of like holding on to that.
I think
over
it's the
everything
only
else.
thing like holding that movie together for me is that I liked it out of the theater. I wasn't like as high on it as some people were. I had it outside of my like top 10 of the last year for even before I rewatched it. But I rewatched it again. I just had to move it down. Very unimpressed with what I do agree that seeing the theater was kind of a spectacle. This original movie, it was selling out the big screens at theaters around here,
especially for a rated R movie too.
Yeah.
Original rated R movie.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was honestly thoroughly disappointed on this rewatch because I remember I really liked Sinners in theaters, and I think I was probably blinded by, you know, the wonderful IMAX visuals that they have, even if some of the framing is bad. And another thing I want to touch on is the lighting. I think Coogler still has yet to escape the Marvel lighting. He still falls victim to it, especially during the daylight scenes. When it gets night and when he's in the juke joint, I think it definitely looks a lot better, especially the vampire stuff. But those early on in the movie is kind of ugly to look at. It's kind of muddy.
There's some really bad green screen moments. Like, I thought the only thing in my mind I could compare it to at some points was like an SNL skit where like the green screen's obvious, the subject center frame, they're kind of talking to the screen. I was like, that's the only thing I compare this to, which I'm being very negative about. I still think this is a fine film, but most Oscar-nominated movie ever. And it's not like super close either.
Yeah, let's
calm down.
Let's calm down a little bit.
For blockbuster standards, this is a good movie. But I think just because the standards of blockbusters have dropped so much in recent years.
Because of Marvel.
Yeah.
But
I will say the Coog does suffer from some Black Panther fatigue. Black Panther 3 is on the way, so maybe we can't expect him to change in that aspect.
I was expecting one of the Eternals to show up in Sinners.
Yeah.
So maybe they could.
We
get
really
in there.
needed Harry Styles.
Where's Kit Harington Eternal? I've never seen Eternals. Where's the Kit Harington Eternal?
he's in industry or something.
Kit Harington he's busy on industry. Great episode last night.
I do want to touch on something that I really did like in this movie, and that's Delroy Lindo.
Yes.
Delroy Lindo on this rewatch gives one of the best performances I think I've ever seen. He is probably one of the most underrated actors out there right now. I knew that from Defy Bloods, directed by Spike Lee a couple years ago. They need to use him way more, like way more in movies. He needs to get a better agent.
I think I did like a lot of the supporting performances. Like whoever plays Cornbread did really good.
Omar something.
Jack O'Connell's awesome.
Jack O'Connell is
Oh, yeah.
incredible. He's always good. Sorry.
No,
It's very cheeky.
I think like very cheeky. I think that kind of the big like thing that everybody remembers about Sinners is like, you know, like Michael B. Jordan played both main characters.
And no
but,
one
like,
said anything with Robert De Niro in Alto Nights.
Year.
Where is Alto Nights love?
And I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of surprised that like no one's really talking about Miles Canton other than his music.
He was really good.
He was really good in the movie. Like he's, you know, like not really had, I mean, that was like his first like big project.
I think his first feature film.
Yeah. So like he's really, you know, kind of standing at shoulder with these like heavy hitters and is able to like keep his weight. And I really think that was kind of like lost almost immediately. And also he's kind of killing it musically. Like I think he's doing really good with his music.
Yeah, the music in this movie, besides the original music by like performed by Miles Canton, the people in the movie, Ludwig Göransson kills it again.
Probably gonna win best score, which I wouldn't agree with. I don't agree with, but
What do you think should win best score?
I think Marty Supreme was the best score. But who are like the score nominations based?
I think it's One Battle, which I wouldn't be too upset. We're getting
Oh
off
yeah,
topic.
that score is awesome.
Yeah. I guess
Johnny Greenwood's score in One Battle After Another is
Someone else I like the Choctaw Vampire Hunters.
yeah.
Those people were
where
cool.
Where were they?
I
at
would
the
have
rest of the
loved
movie?
to seen way more of them.
They should have come back.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I do kind of have to respect the whole, like, they were like, if you got a vampire in there, you have to tell us because, like, we'll do something about it.
That was my favorite part is that they played into, like, a lot of movies will try and, like, create their own kind of, like, version of a vampire. They played by all of the vampire, like, conventionalities. Like, you have to invite them in.
That was one of the things that I loved is that you have to invite them in. That's one of the things people forget about with vampires.
The garlic, they, like, all eat garlic at one point. They get all the silver. They make... I like that. I like... going by the basics. I think too many filmmakers try and do too much and they don't go by some of the basics that they would need to.
Because, like, at the end of the day, like, you can only reinvent a vampire so many times.
Yeah.
And so, like, don't worry about that. Focus on, like, the other aspects of the movie. And I think with the writing especially, like, it hit. Maybe not so much on the cinematography. But I feel like with most of the writing, it does a way better job. And that's why the Black Panther movies are the best in Marvel.
The script.
Eternals, come on.
The script for Sinners is pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, pretty good.
I'd say it's solid. It's a solid script. I definitely think it needed a little more cooking, need more time in the oven to be fully perfect. There are some things where it's a little, like, the pacing's a little jarring and just a little strange, but I think overall it's a decent script.
Yes. One thing I have in my notes, kind of opening it up to hopefully moving into one battle. Warner Brothers is really coming to the Oscars to spread woke through explosions and guns. And I think, honestly, we have to respect it. Like, they really kind of, the message of both of these movies is very much like looking at the same aspect, but from two different perspectives, which you can kind of tell through the directors. Like PTA,
Paul Thomas Anderson.
yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson, slang for Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, we're just using slang.
Yeah. Is sort of like coming at this from like a community aspect and like how, you know, everybody needs to look out for everyone else to make revolution work is kind of the message I was taking, where like even in the actual like story of Sinners, it blatantly is like kind of drawing this line in the sand where it's like, you know, like when, God, I can't remember her name. The couple who owned the general store, when Remick was like threatening their daughter, she was like, they were like, oh, well, we gotta go. Like, this is your guys' thing. Like, I'm out of here. Like, they kind of like separated almost immediately. And it kind of seemed like, you know, he was looking at it from more of like the perspective of like, you know, African Americans are kind of on an island in this like fight.
Yeah. I think you did put it pretty well. But I do really like One Battle's like approach to community. It's not like a revolutionary ideology movie, but I do think it really I like the focus on the community. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there between the two movies.
Yeah, and that's really the through line. So do we want to talk about One Battle now?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot more notes for One Battle than I do for Sinners. I want to
have
start
more
with
positive notes.
Yeah, I was watching I was eating cereal during this movie. I wanted to bring that up. That's my first note.
This is true.
A unique experience that we can bring to the
There's
table.
got to be at least
here.
one other person that's watched that movie while eating cereal.
I'm the only one.
Oh, no, I'm saying someone else has, but I haven't. So I don't know what that's like. So I'll be able to understand a new perspective.
The first thing you have to talk about with One Battle After Another is Sean Penn as Stephen Lockjaw, character of our generation. From like the first 20 minutes of seeing in the theater, I'm like, he's on another level. Some of the faces he makes are just like, I've never seen someone portray just like a bumbling buffoon so well. He's just like a force of nature. Like, he can only move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and until eventually, like, there's just a rock that is just a little too big. But
The Christmas Adventurers Club. Bad guys.
No,
Bad guys.
Sean Penn really like gives a masterclass of a performance here. His character is so funny, so stupid, and so terrifying at the same time. This character is a total idiot, you know.
Yeah.
He's not smart at all, but he's terrifying in his approach. He's smart when it comes to policing and, you know, trying to take down the French 75. He's willing to do whatever it takes, but he's not a very smart character. I think that's what makes him so intriguing, is that he doesn't really have a smart part of his brain to tell him to stop doing things or to act rationally.
well, he only specced into being racist. Like, at the end of the day, you can just kind of tell that, like,
His heart's not in it.
yeah, well, I would agree his heart is only in the effort and pursuit of being racist. And the work he does just so happens to propel that force forward.
Yeah. Speaking on Stephen Lockjaw more, I want to kind of go back to your point, Jan. There's one moment. I do think he does this very good job portraying that this character is very stupid. But there's one moment. It's when him and Chase Infinity are in the church, and he just like grabs her and starts like yelling at her, and it like switches automatically of like this guy's a little like funny clown kind of character to like this guy is scary and could do like real harm.
Yeah.
No, especially that church scene. That church scene was like tension was high. It was scary, especially when he's like, if these don't line up, I don't remember what he said. He's like, if these don't line up, you're done.
Yeah, he's like, if they don't line up, you're free to go.
Yeah.
If they line up, we have problems. And honestly, are we doing spoilers? Are we doing
We're already
spoilers?
too late.
We're too late into it.
Didn't he like contaminate the sample? That's what I'm pretty sure I've seen that. It's like he did the thing wrong. And that's why it lined up.
That's possible. I mean, I don't really know how to do a DNA test like that. So like I haven't seen anything like that, but like I don't know. I was kind of shocked when it did line up. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I forgot what my point was going to be. No, that line delivery of if lines up, you're free to go. If it doesn't, we have problems. Oh, chills. It was so scary, especially in theaters. But man, that rewatch, Sean Penn he was locked in the moment I saw him. He's even more locked in. There's no way he doesn't win this Oscar.
I don't know for sure if he's going to win, but I would like to see Stellan Skarsgård get the win. But Sean Penn, I would like to see Sean Penn get that win too.
I would also like to see Benicio del Toro take a win. It would be shocking. It's not very likely, but he was also really good in this movie.
Yeah, no, he gave a fantastic performance. Like I was shocked. I mean, I guess not shocked because, it's Benicio del Toro, but like, I don't know. I was just like, every time he was on screen, I was like, thank God we get more of this character.
He was such a fun character. A few small beers. Yeah. Such a fun character in that movie.
Top bill of this is, we haven't talked about Leonardo DiCaprio, Chase Infinity, Tiana Taylor. That like they're probably like the core part of the 3 or 4 most important actors in that film, and they are all just operating on very high levels. Chase Infinity is this her first?
I think this is her first feature. She has a long career ahead of her.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what she does next, and I hope it's great,
It
I'm
probably
sure
will be great. And I think Tiana Taylor, I think she kind of exemplifies what a supporting role is. Like someone who's not in the movie for a ton of time, but just really makes the most of her time in the movie and kind of like sets the tone for the rest of it.
It reminds me a little bit of Mahershala Ali in Moonlight.
Yeah.
Way his character isn't there for the whole story, but you can feel the presence of his character, and that's kind of how I saw it with Perfidia. She's only in it for like the first
Beverly Hills
20 or so minutes, but you feel her presence throughout the movie. It kind of, when I finished the movie, I forgot that Tiana Taylor was barely in it.
Yeah,
she just leaves such an impact with you.
Regina Hall's really good too for her time. I remember when the casting first came out, people thought she would have a bigger role in the movie, but she does a lot with what she's given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of speaking to like Tiana Taylor being in the movie, I really like that like when she's in Mexico, you don't see her anymore.
Yeah.
Like, because it truly feels like you're kind of, like 16 years have passed. You know just about as much about Perfidia Beverly Hills as Charlene does. And then, you kind of like the whole movie. I mean, I guess that she's a rat, but you're just kind of like wondering like if she's going to come back and kind of like feeling the same things as Charlene, I feel.
I think it's a very inspired decision. I think the right decision to leave, like when she's gone, she's gone. I think a lot of filmmakers have a tough time with character exits and when is the right time for a character to exit. I think he hit the nail on the head there for when she should exit.
You go ahead.
Okay, I want to bounce back to Benicio del Toro's character for a little bit. Something that I noticed is between him and Leonardo's character, between Sensei and Bob, is that these two have very different ideas of what revolution is.
Yeah.
For Bob, it's very flashy, it's very big. He's Rocket Man, he's Ghetto Pat. But for Benicio del Toro, he's not telling people about this. He's running he's housing these immigrants in the dojo or the phone store, and he does not tell anyone. He's working in the shadows to bring revolution, to be a force for good, while Bob and Perfidia and the French 75 in general are more about, I wouldn't say ego, but they're more about the message than they are the purpose of it.
I wouldn't even say like two different approaches of revolution. I'd say almost like two sides that are both necessary. I think it kind of like it displays both and sort of shows how they're symbiotic in the thing, because Benicio del Toro helping Leo is very integral to the conclusion.
Honestly, like seeing the French 75 and like their whole like interactions, it felt almost like G.I. Joe, if that makes any sense. And honestly, the movie kind of to me felt like if you made like a G.I. Joe movie.
They have those.
No, but
G.I. Jane too.
But
don't
like,
mention that around Will Smith.
Oh, we'll see if it happens this year.
Will Smith slap Chris Rock at this year's Oscars on the next episode.
Vote on Kalshi. But it almost feels like if you took like G.I. Joe out of their world and put them in the real world, is kind of how like Pat's character read to me.
I'm not well versed in
G.I. Joe.
Well, just like him like being on the phone with revolutionary
yeah, that's fun. That's one of the best scenes when he's just like
on the phone with revolutionary customer service and they're like trying to answer the questions and he's like, getting pissed.
That's a very pointed scene. Like you can tell Paul Thomas Anderson really had a gripe with people like that.
Definitely.
And then it kind of like contrasts to like Benicio del Toro like moving like mass amounts of immigrants out of his safe house into this hospital or into the church.
It was almost like one side just like spinning its gears over and over, and Benicio del Toro was like execute when you have to. Like,
yeah. I also want to touch just briefly on the editing and the sound in this movie.
Awesome.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
Johnny Greenwood's score is very good. It's very like understated at times. I think that's kind of got to do a good score, but then it rises up when it needs it.
Yeah, I think it fits perfectly with this movie because this movie kind of feels like a bit of a ticking time bomb. Like we're waiting for something to happen, and with this slow piano score that's dropping a note every couple, minutes. Like that's a bad example, but the piano score really like helps you build this tension, like we're counting down to a big moment that's about to happen.
It kind of acts towards like every character's like meticulous decisions to like do what they do to try and either avoid or like catch who they're looking for. I felt that was honestly like a lot of fun to like listen to it like while you're watching, especially like at the end when like Lockjaw and Charlene are like driving through the like mountains to like the handoff and like there's just like the piano in the background.
Ooh, those hill scenes, the driving in the hill scenes, I can't believe we haven't talked about that. For the ending of the movie, oh my God, what a climax. When Bob is going through the hills, and especially how that's framed. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The way you can't see what's over the hill, just, I don't know.
That was a pro gamer move by Willa. Just to leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas Adventures did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I am a Christmas adventure. I don't want to say that, actually.
Jim Downey is my favorite Christmas adventure. He's very funny.
Yes.
Because I just remember, there's like the line, like these characters are like it's almost like Jim Downey's character is like a little bit misinformed about what the Christmas adventures are, because like they will be like, we hate like other races, and then Jim Downey's character would be like, and they smoke reefer.
Oh yeah, he has a reefer addiction. He said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just about somebody.
It's almost that casting, Jim Downey, he's a comedian, he's a former SNL writer. I think Paul Thomas Anderson really knew he was doing casting that character. I think that's just almost the beauty of this movie, is that there's so many just great supporting characters.
We should maybe touch on the guy who was a real interrogator who was in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but I don't want to, I'm going to say this all wrong, but he's like a real military guy. They brought him in to play an interrogator, and he gives a really good performance because he's an actual interrogator. It's a little scary.
Couldn't get BLUTO though.
Yeah.
We love BLUTO.
We love BLUTO. Shout out BLUTO.
BLUTO,
Oh my God.
did not snitch. If BLUTO should win Best Actor.
Yeah, just BLUTO,
sure.
the character
Just
of
BLUTO.
BLUTO.
BLUTO should win Best Picture.
Yeah.
Exactly. BLUTO movie when?
Yeah.
BLUTO movie wins Best Picture next year. That's my prediction.
I don't want any Sinners sequels, but I do want a sequel to One Battle After Another just called BLUTO.
One BLUTO after another. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think BLUTO's a great way to wrap it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
If there's
Okay.
one thing you should take away from One Battle After Another, is that BLUTO is the best character.
I think that's a great way to end it. Okay.